tried sabotaging him at every turn. And when people started dropping like flies, when they realized they couldn't prop up Jeb Bush to take over the mantle like the old days, who did they task to fight Donald Trump? It was little Marco Rubio. And I'm not saying he was, completely at fault for this, but he wanted that spot. But he absolutely was trying to help sabotage Donald Trump and was hoping that, that the status quo was praying that they could at least keep the normal status quo if they could just get Marco Rubio in there. And that didn't work. Donald Trump ended up winning, luckily. But so that's the thing. Nothing like that happened to Vance. Okay, J.D. Vance didn't have that type of thing. He earned his way up there.
With J.D. Vance, would we be doing what we're doing right now?
Of what?
With J.D. Vance, would we have did what we did in Venezuela?
I don't think so. Well, probably not Iran. Maybe Venezuela. Probably not any president besides Trump would have done.
None of them. Right, and that's the point I'm making, is that when you have a person like J.D. Vance there, these conflicts would have never even been entertained. The whole signal gate would have never happened. He spoke against that. As far as like securing like the threats of the Houthis for our allies that are in the Middle East, you can clearly see that there are interests that we have there. Then you're moving toward Venezuela. He's silent on that. They kind of move him out. Then when it comes to Iran,
by the way about that, Simone, by the way, do you admit finally now that it wasn't about the drug boats?
Bro, like, you had this thing about attributing
Come on, you remember that.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, whoever thought it was about drug boats?
Well, initially, before he got Maduro, remember, you did. Okay.
It was your, like, just hold on. What you said was you were scared, and I used the word purposefully. You were scared that it was going to turn into like a never-ending war.
Yeah, I was afraid that it was going to be some sort of debate.
And what I said was, no, the objectives are different. They're using the drug boats as a catalyst to justify how they're sitting in the region for this blockade to seize the oil, the sanctioned oil, and all these types of things to put pressure on Venezuela.
I don't remember how that went.
Just hold on. If you're taking a position that this is going to be a never-ending war, and I'm saying that it's not going to be a never-ending war, that you can clearly see that what I'm talking about was absolutely accurate in yours.
No. So you're getting ahead of your skis here. So what the argument was, remember, I said, and you got to let me finish here, I said, I don't want this to be a forever war. Clearly, this is not about the drug boats. And you as well as Manfinity, another guy was saying this, that yes, it is about the drug boats. And I was like, dude, these drugs are going directly into America. They're going into Trinidad. It's clearly not about the drug boats. It's for something else. Something else bigger. And you're like, no, it's about the drug boats, man. I mean, we just have to wait and see, but it's about the drug boats. I'm like, no, it's something bigger.
So let me just point this out. Like, your recollection sucks. I'm saying that, well, let me just point this out. I'm saying that once they designate certain entities as being, let's say, narco, right, then it allows you to use certain tools within the toolbox. So if you have to justify the positioning of your military in a certain part of the world by saying, hey, drug boats coming here, this is aligned with this justification because of this by the state or by the Secretary of State. That's why our naval ships are here. I'm saying that that's the catalyst that they're using, not the actual illness.
That's what I was trying to say. I was like, clearly it's not.
Bro, that doesn't make any. Listen,
yes, dude. Yes, I was like, clearly, because I was mad about it, because I was like, bro, like it seems like they're posturing to invade Venezuela. I said, I don't know what the aim here is. I said, I don't want this to be a forever war where they invade. It's clearly not about the drug boats. And they're like, yeah, it's about the drug boats. And then later on, I even admitted.
I keep on saying that that's not our position.
You gotta let me finish.
Well, you just repeating the same line.
Hold on. A couple days later, though, I admitted, I even said, because because after they got Maduro and it was fast and we got out of there, and I watched a couple of AI tele videos and stuff, which was really good. I understood that this was a bigger thing. It was about China. It was actually
I
about.
wonder who told you that.
AI Telly did a fucking YouTube video.
I told you that. What the?
No, you didn't, motherfucker. You're high as fuck, Samoa. You are not that smart, bro. I know you're smart, but dude, come on. Like, I literally was like, clearly this is not about the drug boats, brother. Come on.
Hold on, so
Don't you dare. Don't you dare act like you know everything now. Come on. You know you're going to say that you outed in China? You know you're going to say you outed in China? Come on.
Hey, bro. With all due respect, bro. Like, there's certain people that are on the level, but sometimes you got to stop cosplaying. Everybody that understands what's going on understands that Venezuela, Iran are clear, smaller tier countries. They're not on the same level as a China or an America. So every move that we make is to secure our dominance or in our hegemony within our region. This is why they called it the Monroe Doctrine, right? You can clearly see that everything is pointed towards China. We knew this from the very beginning because Trump said so. The hell's going on? This is horrible. Like, how do you not know this, bro?
Samoa. I talked
to you. Brother, obviously,
you gotta quit interrupting me, bro. You gotta stop this because if you
gotta stop repeating the lie, bro.
Samoa, if you are so right in your convictions, if you are so smart, let me hang myself by letting me finish. You can't interrupt me because all it does is convolute things. It makes things confusing.
You're just repeating the same thing.
No, I'm not.
The boats. That's what you're doing. The boats.
What I'm gonna add though, it's crazy, Samoa, since you're so smart. You know how to mute up for a second. You know how to give people an opportunity to say their side here. Unless you're just full of shit and you have to butt in to fill in your stuff. That, to me, it seems like a guy who's not that confident if you have to keep on interrupting me. Because I mute up, let you go. You don't let me, you don't show me the same. We're moving the show. I don't want to hear anyone talk about how you're over-talking people and this and that. We want content. We don't want people complaining. This is J.D. Vance failed to negotiate peace. What's next? There's a lot of speakers in the audience here. If you have an opinion, raise your hand, and you will be given 30 to 60 seconds to tell us your opinion, how you're feeling, what you're thinking. Look at all these beautiful people here in the audience. We're the number one room on Clubhouse right now, and it's all because J.D. Vance failed to negotiate peace, and we're trying to figure out what's next. I was a Nazi for that. Anyway, sorry. See, we have Joe Beat down there, a campaign contributor who is the daughter of a former NSA official and herself has worked in counterintelligence and intelligence gathering. We have other beautiful people in the audience I see here. TC's trying to come up, John. A bunch of people are apparently. Maybe turn on. We even have Steve out of the audience. I just watched X the Atheist onto YouTube. Thank you, Steve, for the incredible content as always. Welcome to the stage, TC.
Bro, I had my hand up for like 5 minutes, bro. This is damn near disrespectful.
My bad. You know what it's like? It's when you're a wedding planner, bro, and you gotta take a lot of photos and videos. And you can't eat, you gotta wait till everybody else eats, and then you lose the contract because you complain.
Yeah, clown, you wish I was a wedding planner. Keep to your antics, bro.
Lay off the HGH, TC. Do you want to talk about why J.D.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, listen, J.D. Vance was never empowered to win.
About it. Who says that? It's my favorite guy. He's not here anymore. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, J.D. Vance was never empowered to win in the first place. I don't know why Trump sent J.D. Vance over. Maybe because he's trying to diminish his profile, his political profile for 2028. I have no clue. But he should have sent Marco. He knew sending whoever he would have sent over there would have never achieved a successful negotiation. So what I think he did was he threw J.D. Vance into the fire to take the loss because you send your number one guy, who's Marco Rubio, who's the most talented diplomat this country's seen in a long time. Okay, it's probably going back to the 1950s. But that's what you have. You have J.D. Vance, who's the Vice President of the United States, who initially didn't want to be in the war in the first place, forces him to go and negotiate. You know you're putting him in a losing situation. He's not empowered to win. He goes in, he does the 21 hours, comes out, says, sorry, no deal. It's exactly what Donald Trump wants because he was not interested in a deal in the first place. He's tightening the noose. We're seeing this in this Hormuz Strait by setting up this naval blockade. Effectively, what that does is it delegitimizes the leverage that Iran had over other world economic powers to pay the toll to get past the Strait of Hormuz. You effectively delegitimize that, and now nobody gets through. So it defangs the one polling card that Iran had against the United States. Now Iran has no cards. They don't control the air. They don't have intercontinental ballistic missile systems or any ballistic missiles technology operable right now. Their defense systems are weakened. They've dismantled, America has dismantled their political infrastructure by removing the Ayatollah Khomeini, okay, and his band of thugs. Former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, is gone. All right, so there's effectively no IRGC structure in place to control the fallout of this war. And you've crippled them economically. Now they can't trade with anybody. There's no money coming in. There's no money going out. They are sitting ducks, okay? And Trump has strengthened his hand. Good job to him.
Yeah, hang on.
We'll see what happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Hang on. All right, no. I don't think so.
Wait, who are you, dude? I'm going to finish my commentary. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm Peter. I'm here.
What the hell is going on? All right. So like I said, we don't have to. We're not going to have to wait long. This is going to be 2 weeks max. Trump's going to effectively negotiate the ceasefire. Iran is going to scream uncle, and the rest is going to be history. We have effectively dismantled their nuclear program. They will never have nuclear weapons. They're going to have to turn over their uranium that they have, which is like 4 or 5 scuba tanks worth of enriched uranium at this point. And then we'll set up monitoring systems so they can no longer proliferate nuclear options.
Damn, man. Bro,
I want to tell you something, guys. Please shut up.
Wait a minute. Can I respond to that real quickly? TC, man, I'm an American, man, and I love what Trump's doing here.
I'm American too.
Hold on a minute,
Ladies
man.
first. You are not American.
Yes,
You
I
are
am.
not American.
Yes, I am.
Ladies first.
Okay, Mom, let her go. Let's go with ladies first. Marion, but you got 30 seconds. I'm going to time it. Go ahead. You got 30 seconds.
Please talk.
Okay, welcome back to the Iran War. J.D. Vance peace deal. Israel, USA news. Raise your hand if you want to come up. Marion, we're going to give you 15 seconds now. Otherwise, TC Mountain, please complete. Can I, if my mind's fresh here, can I just respond to that, please, while I guarantee? Go ahead, Bob. You got the mic. I'll be fast. TC, man, we have to be realistic here, man. The North Koreans have some of the most complex tunnel network systems in the world. In North Korea, we know that for sure. Concrete reinforced. Have many engineers to Iran over the years and helped the Iranians build vast tunnel networks and concrete reinforced tunnel networks. And the country is twice the size of Texas. So before you say that we got all their uranium, that's not likely true. We're trying to find that right now. Okay, that's why we're negotiating and saying, please give it up. See, there's pictures, and I'll put it in my PTR outside the Natanz facility. Let me finish, please.
Go, sir. Go. Stop giving me downstairs.
All right. There's pictures outside of the Netons facility. I'll put it in my PTR of rows of trucks outside. I'm putting it in there right now. And these, and on the back of these trucks were casks. These casks, they hold enriched uranium. They can move this enriched uranium, and that's what they did. So they have it hidden somewhere in this country. So before you say mission accomplished, and you know that we destroyed their nuclear, that's not likely true, dude. Unless you you have some fucking advanced knowledge that I don't. But that's definitely not true. That's why we're negotiating. Also, they're still fighting in a lot of ways because the IRGC is highly decentralized. So it's not over yet. But it's going to take the people. It's going to take the people really to overthrow this country too. It can't just be American military alone can't do it. We've seen this before. Just be realistic. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Jackson, welcome to the stage. TA, Alex, Obey, TC, Miriam. This is the Iran War. JD Vance, Peace from Israel USA News. If you're in the audience and you want to say something, raise your hand. We will bring you up. I just invited Joe B. Wallace if you want to come up. Always complaining. Any other complainers, come on up and complain if you want. This is the Donald Trump Complaint Department. Well, TC, do you have any other input that you think is of value?
Okay, I want to say something to you guys. Hi, everyone. This is Marianne Moore from USA. I'm living in Irvine. And thank you guys for protecting me and save me. But it's too late, guys. It's too late for kiss my ass. It's too late for kiss my ass.
Crazy Iranian.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for thanking us for protecting you. And unfortunately, I don't really like it when people just keep repeating, kiss my ass. So we're moving this conversation along. We're shaking, we're dancing, we're having fun, everybody. Raise your hand if you want to tell us your opinion on this war. What's the solution? What's the conflict even about? Hello?
I want to do a response to TC with a report. I'm mystified. I have to tell you, right now, I don't think that a lot of individuals understand the depth of our situation for it, but it's just more because of misinformation. We really don't have an idea of what's happening in Iran itself for it. I mean, they've destroyed I don't know what side you would blame for it, but the internet is not of usage in many sectors of the country for it. And I mean, there are some pieces of information, particularly to foreign news sources. But I don't think people see the bigger picture, and I think we can see the one which is directly in front of us. Our price increases in regard to gas. The fuel affects everything. You know what I mean? Everything, because everything that you use was bought there by some agent that uses fuel. So if it's in the process of saying like what the effects are or where exactly we stand, we can see that one very clearly. On the world stage, there are some countries right now which are in major cities are suffering blackouts because of the lack of oil. Many of them use the oil as needed. They don't really build an infrastructure that hold tons and tons of oil, that millions of barrels that you'll use each day, is not practical. So many of those countries that are dependent on that oil, that affects not only the world economy, but it also affects what's happening in those countries. So it's causing chaos all around the world. And the fact that JD Vance, which you can have your own opinions in regard to his political aspirations in regard to that, I really don't think that he has that much chance in this situation for it. Because remember, he was a big anti-war individual. He supported Trump vehemently on the fact that there'll be no new wars. And here we are. And in that type of situation for it, I'm not sure he's in the party's grace, and he's definitely not in Mega's grace. So where do we stand? What happens? And I just think that if people would look at that larger picture as far as the effects not only on you, personally, but also in regard to the world, this was not a good decision. It was not a.
Alec, can I ask you a question? What was the highest price that Obama had fuel prices up? I mean, for his national average, I'm looking here. That's $3.96, $3.97 per gallon in May 2011. So when Obama had national fuel prices at that high, $4 a gallon for fuel, were you guys screaming and crying?
Well,
No.
First, we were just coming out of the situation in regard to the housing crisis. Remember that? Do you remember
Okay, it's the housing crisis, right?
Well, wait a second. So the economy was actually in recession at that period in which Obama took office.
What's crazy about that, though? What's crazy is all these blue states, you can't deny it, dude. You guys love your higher taxes. People are fleeing blue states because you guys make everything higher. Everything. But you cannot sit here and admit that Obama had things higher, too. You're okay with higher priced gas when it comes to green new initiatives. But goddamn it, when we're trying to disarm, a bunch of terrorists from nuclear weapons, now you want to bitch and scream about $1 higher per gallon. I think it's hypocritical, sir. I think they're hypocritical, and you have selective outrage.
Well, okay. Well, let's examine this for a more historical basis, okay? So then that way, the bigger picture may give us a little better perspective in the aspect. The United States has actually been playing in the Middle East for the last 50 years. We caused a lot of upheaval, a lot of wars, change of regimes, so forth. So this is not something new. Many presidents have undergone the same type of situation and realized limitations in regard to what can happen in this. This one, we might say, was started by Israel more than the United States, without prudent sort of thought as to possible consequences. But we're serving another agenda. So we're serving their agenda at this point in time. But now we're in a situation where, I don't remember, months ago we said that we had obliterated their nuclear program. Then we came back and said it wasn't obliterated. They were still, there's enriched uranium. Oh, but wait a second, but they have these other places for it. So why don't we do this? We'll just remove the entire regime. Well, that's funny too, because now the new regime, which we can't tell what's happening in Iran right now, but maybe and possibly is, and all indications are, is the son of the individual whose wife and children we just killed. Okay? So I'm not saying that it's a victory. I'm not saying that it's something that was a planned situation, but right now I guess it's nothing at all. Because even the vice president can't negotiate some type of agreement.
Sir, are you going to respond to what I said? The Democrats in all their states with their higher taxes, for God's sakes, my parents live in Washington. I live in Montana. And, I'm paying, about $3.70 per gallon right now, which is high, but higher than normal. But they're paying $5 a gallon, man. It's the differences are striking from these blue states. Everything is higher, and that's why the people are fleeing those states. And you're going to sit here and bitch about higher prices when literally Obama had national fuel prices at that high, $3.97 in 2011. 2011, it's 2026, dude. Don't sit here and bitch about your selective outrage now, because you love higher fuel prices when it comes to, like I said, the Green New Deal initiatives, the green initiatives. That's okay. That's okay with taxing, oil companies, their tax credits and getting rid of their drilling permits like Obama and Biden did. That's okay. But now you're bitching about us because we're intervening because what's $1 a gallon higher or so. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's crazy. No, wait, have you lost your mind? Listen, why is there going on? There is a war. Don't try to put Obama in perspective in regard to this presidency. Don't try to look at it because this is a garbage presidency. This is a garbage. Don't compare those two. In the economic situation which was occurring before, all presidents go through cycles of such. But nobody has increased the budget like Trump, right? No one. Where are we at right now? 37 trillion. Yeah. Okay. So don't give me all that. don't get me wrong, you passed Obamacare, which, I guess, try to kill it as you may. But, and that still is in existence for now. And listen, it didn't cost $1 trillion. It didn't cost $1 trillion. So wait a second. This individual has passed legislation, and for the last two, this kills me with you. Because even if you say that you don't like the Democrats and they're the blue states, oh my God. The blue states actually pay more of the taxes which are necessary for the federal government than the red states. They have the bill. And that's because of all those taxes and things. Also, the cost of living.
Show me.
What?
The blue states
They don't pay their bill. What are you talking about? It's just, in regard to the taxes which are paid by the state of California, the federal taxes do not exceed exactly what other states can actually pay. Other states such as Mississippi, which for overall revenue issues for it, are not able to pay their overall federal tax. The bill does not compensate the federal government in regard to its overall budget. Is that what you're saying is not true?
That is what I'm saying. I live in the Midwest.
And
TA, why don't you answer Malcolm's question about the oil price, the gas price? You're just slipping around and sneaking and trying to get away with it.
All right, hold on. Okay, what's the question?
The question is because you were the one raised about the gas price as a reason for against the war, and the mountain just refuted you. Why don't you answer to that question?
Okay, the first question in regard to it, as I said, because of our interest in the Middle East, oftentimes it has affected situations in regard to pricing. And oftentimes it may be something that, certain countries decide to hold. OPEC is a very strong agency for the idea. It's a major currency. Now, there are times in which oil prices increase depending upon overall demand or structural problems in regard to environmental issues as well for it, but there are times in which the over amount of oil doesn't flow as frequently. It really doesn't matter for the U.S., right? We have reserves, we do shale, we do all of these other aspects that we could supply our need and what we
have
don't.
E85.
Yeah, we got all kind of stuff. But it does affect the world market in regard to the price of oil. In this situation, Trump has...
Did you do what I asked you to do? I said, bring that basket in, baby. Big girl.
So anyway,
Dude, he was talking to you, TA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you look at it in regard to oil prices will fluctuate, usually by slow numbers, right? What was the oil price in regard to the beginning of the war, and what was the oil price in regard to the next 3 days after the war? In that aspect, for it, Obama never caused you an oil increase in such degrees in regard to, because some supplies.
Okay, but Alex, here's the thing.
Conversation. Oil always goes up in wartime. Always.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
You want to me about that? Well, Alex, hold on. You do know that. So Obama and Biden, the reason why fuel prices went up under them significantly was because they are simply unfriendly towards the oil companies. So I'll give you an example. I worked in the Bakken oil field in North Dakota, so I know what I'm talking about. The oil fields, the oil companies, they get credits. They get credits, and basically tax credits that are given to them, because they got huge startup costs. These were wiped out, taken away by Obama and Biden. Also, they have to have permits to drill. These permits, a lot of them were taken away. Pipelines that were in effect, like the Keystone XL pipeline, canceled. Because these presidents are unfriendly towards oil. When you're unfriendly towards oil, you end their tax credits, you end their drilling, licenses. You make it tougher for them. Then oil prices go up. But you don't say nothing. Okay, but yes, during wartime, temporarily, we're going to see some increases in fuel, but it's temporary. But the selective outrage with you is fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy. You don't give a fuck to have all these different, people are, like I say, running away from those states you're talking about that pay. In New York, California, they're in huge debt. They spend way more than they're taking in. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My parents live in Washington. They just incorporated in March, what was it, 29th, 2026, they incorporated a 9.9% wealth tax, where if you make over $1 million a year income, you get taxed 9.9%. That might not seem like a lot to people, but nowadays, $1 million, especially in a state like Washington, is really not all that much. Being a millionaire nowadays, $1 million is really not that fucking much. I'm just, and you say 9.9%, fry me a river, I get it, but it's a slippery fucking slope. And this is what's happening in these states. This is what happens when you have a Democratic leadership. And you're going to sit here and bitch about Donald Trump trying to disarm the mullahs. Whatever, man.
Let me take you back a little. See where you're selected. In regard to, what did Trump say that he would do the first day he got in office?
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine? We worked on that.
We claimed to end the war.
And wait, okay, yeah, that was it. And what else? I'm going to bring down prices. I'm going to bring down inflation, right? So I'm just saying. So then he went to work at it. He went to work in regard to the I suppose, implementation of the tariffs, right? You remember those, the big tariffs to bully other countries in regard to situations forward, to wreck the world economy, just back and forth, like just uncertainty. You remember that? Well, then we kind of get to our situation in regard to the tariffs are ruled unconstitutional. That's illegal. You can't do it. So now we're in a situation in which, was that the economic policy? Because I'll tell you what, the prices that you suffer.
Tariffs, or is that a fact that you can't? It's illegal. Which one is it, T.A. Alec?
The cost that you suffer in South Dakota in regard to the changing of markets, the uncertainty which occurs in regard to like unstable markets, particularly, remember Trump said, I'll let the oil companies go wild. You can go crazy. You can drill everywhere you want. Give me $1 billion. You got it. Any place you want to go. And in that sense, I would have thought that the oil industry would be doing fantastic, would be doing great in all aspects.
Alex, you got 30 more seconds. You got to land your plane. 30 more seconds.
He said drill, baby, drill.
Oh, no, I'll land it there because I'm just trying to state facts.
Guys, I just want to
confused. Facts are often confused with opinions. Do you agree with that opinion?
What?
I heard somebody say that facts don't care about your feelings. Is this true? Can anybody help me with this?
But it's also my opinion that many people's facts are just their opinions. Alex, would you agree with that opinion?
I think that if you have an opinion, it should be based in information. I mean, I go with scientific method, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, look,
if you the power of observation, okay, then you make a hypothesis. Got it. All right, well, El Normo is here, the surprise guest, ultra luxury 5-star clubhouse superhero host of your dreams, to give you the truth, the facts, not opinions. Take it away, El Normo.
Well, our president has said that if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz, he's going to take it, and he's going to rename it the Strait of Donald. He's been putting the name Trump on a number of things lately, and he wants to mix it up to keep people from getting bored, and so he will call it the Strait of Donald.
Guys, I just want to say
big. That's bold. That's huge. Can you imagine how big it is when it gets straight? Jesus.
El Normo, can I say something?
Yes, you may say something, my son.
I'm sorry. I just want to read you something that one of the Iranian parliament member just tweeted a while ago regarding the negotiation, which is related to the room topic. And he mentioned that we didn't achieve the agreement because they wanted to join the share with Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. And second, they wanted 60% of uranium to leave Iran, and they wanted to revoke the right to enrich in Iran for 20 years.
So he mentioned these three things as the main object that they couldn't achieve an agreement on this negotiation, which is related to the room topic I just want to mention.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to teach you a song in Farsi. Is that okay, Par?
Yeah, go on. No problem.
Parchame Palestini, beaucoup tu connais, beaucoup tu connais.
You know that I'm not IRGC supporter. I was just mentioning that what is he just tweeted regarding the room topic. I'm not never ever supported these guys. They are lunatic, and I know that you know that I went to one of these guys' room, and I was just thinking to just go over and see what they are really thinking. You know, they count on the people like TA Alex. They think that they want to put pressure on Donald Trump to withdraw from the war, and they count really on these guys.
You mean they're weaponizing Americans' impatience?
Yes, they count on it. Like they think that probably the pressure from inside the U.S. will push Donald Trump to withdraw from the war, and they have this narrative among each other that probably the parliament will not accept Donald Trump to continue to have a war in Iran, and that's why they are still resisting, so that they will reach to that 60 days, and so that they will reach to that point that Donald Trump withdraw from the war.
Some people have called it the enemy within.
Exactly. They the IRGC counting about.
I know. It's an old technique. It was even used by the Soviet Union of weaponizing protest movements, anti-war sentiments, even racial conflicts in order to achieve their aims abroad.
You bring up great conflict because, interestingly enough, after the IRGC is destroyed, reparations are going to be paid to the Iranian people, the victims of the IRGC, in the same way that the victims of Hezbollah and the victims of the terrorists in the Gaza Strip from Yasser Arafat. We're already making plans to take $8 billion from Yasser Arafat's daughter to make reparations to Israelis killed in bus bombings, disco bombings, other terrorist bombings. Reparations is a big.
Well, we can't afford reparations for anybody.
Also put forward plans to do reparations for Republican Union soldiers who sacrificed their lives to free the African American slaves, because without their sacrifice, there could be no liberation. So reparations for.
The president feels that the 2020 election was stolen from him, and he's asking for reparations.
I thought he won. I thought he won.
So did he.
And Hanson on the stage. Anybody else in the audience want to raise your hand, give us your opinion, tell us what you're thinking. This is the Iran War JD Vance Peace Room, Israel USA News, like the House, vote in the poll. Should Trump deploy the Marines and the Army to secure the Iranian nuclear materials? Yes or no? Deploy the Marines or no? Just bomb them strategically.
Trump wants to rename the Persian Gulf the Gulf of Trump. Anybody in favor of this?
He's a joker. Y'all are jokers.
It closes the strait, blocks it. They lose business. Nobody can go in and out. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? And if he does rename it, will it update the GPS systems on all the oil tankers coming in to take the oil out. Also, don't forget, Trump has told the world that America is the world's largest oil producer. So bring your ships to the Gulf Coast. Bring your ships to the West Coast. Bring your ships to the East Coast. We will fill them with our beautiful, luscious oil.
But we don't even talk about what we have, air quote, stored and saved. And we don't need to.
So I want to thank everybody for coming. If you're in the audience and you want to tell us your opinion about this war, about this conflict, about Donald Trump, we are here to receive your complaint. Thank you for being here. We hope you have fun. Like the room, follow the mods, and raise your hand.
Also, the management will be accepting wagers on when the war will restart. Please pick a time. Please pick the amount of money you would like to wager. We will have an under-over.
Yes, for TA, if you look at the Brent crude oil futures, the average crude oil price during the Obama administration is $83 per barrel, and during the Trump administration till now is $72 per barrel. So Obama is so much higher. The oil price is so much higher than the Trump administration. So, is that scientific enough for you guys?
Play a clip for you. This is JD Vance, released 23 minutes ago. Here we go.
Did you say the war will restart in 23 minutes?
The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. And I think that's bad news for Iran, much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms. Do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've been trying to achieve through these negotiations.
Now notice the difference between an affirmative action and an affirmative saying is that action speaks louder than words.
Their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. We just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that, and unfortunately, we were able to make a headway. We were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it.
Everybody always says final and best offer was the first offer. I don't think that. I think that, kind of undervalues possibly Anyways, we just heard from J.D. Vance, the number 2 in America, tell us that we are looking for affirmative actions where it's not just talk, and it's not retooling, because we want to know for sure that the Iranians are never going to have the options, the capability to build a nuclear bomb quick enough to pop it off to commit mass genocide and murder and chaos. So, welcome to the room. Please vote in the poll. Follow your moderators. Raise your hand if there's something you want to say. Is there something thinking in your brain? Is there words thinking? Do they want to come out? Do you want to talk about that? Raise your hand. Let's hear.
Can I say, I think some special forces incursions would be good to secure these things. But we have to know where this shit is. And like I say, man, I've done research on this. We know the North Koreans and the Iranians are really tight. We know the North Koreans have got very good engineers that have, like I said, concrete reinforced tunnels, thousands of them, up to 4,000 we have identified. So they've come over to Iran, and for years have helped the Iranians build tunnels just like this. I suspect, and our intelligence agencies suspect, they're in some of these vast tunnel networks. So it's gonna take a whistleblower, or it's gonna take them, admitting where it is. It's going to be tough, man. But there's some silver lining. If what they're saying is true, they have enough 60% enriched uranium to make 10 or 11 bombs. But that would take them 2 years to get to that 93% enriched uranium to make the bomb successfully. But the 60% enriched uranium they have, they could give it to any of their proxies if they wanted to pull a wild card. And these proxies can hold a whole city hostage by releasing this shit. So, I don't know. The nuclear bomb shit, we have to find it. We have to find the enriched uranium. So, that's kind of so. But once that does happen, send in some special forces. I would like special forces instead of conventional forces. Marines are still, they're special, but they're not, known as special forces. If they send in, special forces, recon units, then we can still say, hey, it's not a conventional war. It's a special forces incursion. We want to make sure we still win the optics war here. We don't want the Democrats saying, see, they're sending in troops. Well, yes, but these are special forces, all right? We do that all over the world, so. And that'll be effective, lightning fast. We get the shit, we get it out of there. That's what I think. So.
I'm hearing rumors now the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps is going to join forces with Palestine and drop exploding Palestinians on Israel. Has anybody heard confirmation of these rumors?
These types of fragmentary weapons are very unstable, and propellers and automated machine deployment systems. These fragmentary bombs are a problem. What do you think, El Normo? I mean, these cluster munitions, I was watching a video about how they work, how they're able to actually, supersede, anti-missile defense technologies like the dome system. So what's the solution? Destroy them in mass, or is it a war crime to deploy cluster munitions on civilian territories in the way that Iran is doing it in Israel? And, why aren't we seeing the videos? Is there a blackout on videos in Israel because they don't want to give up delivery and targeting, destinations?
Any truth to the rumor that Iran plans to drop exploding Palestinians on Israel?
This clubhouse room is not all serious, ladies. Some of it's comedy. Some of it is entertainment. And we want you to join the fun. So raise your hand and tell us what you're thinking. I just want to quote Pepe, the world famous clubhouse comedian and artist here. He said,
news. It's a Zionist. Thank you.
But that's not even Pepe's MO as far as the anti-Zionist rhetoric. That's not even his MO, actually. But what is actual is the backbending and backbending coat that our side is just really like, dude, we're trying so hard to hold on to old things. Like, you guys still believe that the Yankees are the greatest baseball team in the world. Like, you just have faith in this system, and you just can't. Oh, it's just like one of you guys just tried to own somebody up here because you said what was currently going on is a problem, and you brought up the last regime. You know, were you saying that during Obama? And that's just like a current abusive spouse that's currently abusing the spouse. His defense for his abuse is to say, well, I ain't slapped you around as hard as the last guy did. The point is, we're still getting slapped around and lied to. There is no freaking real threat about nuclear capabilities, just as much as there wasn't any WMDs in Iraq. And you got history pattern in time.
How do you know?
See that?
How do you know?
The same, just as much as you think you know that they are there.
No, I'm asking. You know, there's no news.
My answer to your question, just as much as you are to believe that they are there, because you were told.
How do you know what I
there.
believe? I haven't even told you.
I've heard your opinion.
What's
You're
my
for
opinion?
this war. You are for this war.
What's my opinion about the news?
You're for this war.
Okay,
so whatever excuse that was given for this war, it was.
I thought
you're not going to catch me. I'm going to keep it general, and I'm going to end my statement there.
You said that you don't believe there's a nuclear threat, and when I asked you, you said that's just as much as I believe there is one. So what do I believe about the nuclear threat? Otherwise, just tell us what you think instead of referring to me. Go ahead.
Tell me what I think. You're trying to dig a little deeper than that, and you're trying to, you're trying to catch your moment to own, but you're not going to get it here.
Okay.
I know just as much as you know about this. That's the point.
Okay, fine. So tell us what you know. Okay, what
I told you.
What's that?
I told you. I speculate that there are no true threats of whatever Iran has to throw at us.
Oh, you're speculating.
It's all from just as much as you. Oh, you got your golden moment. Just as much as you. You speculate that they are a threat. Because you've been told that they are.
I didn't speculate.
You've been told that they are a threat.
Hang on. No, I didn't speculate. I cited 3 nuclear sites. Fordo, Natanz, and I think the last one is called Iraq. Are those not nuclear sites?
Fordo. All right. You been to Iraq? Have you been there on the ground?
What was the third one again that I forgot?
Were you on the ground inspecting yourself?
Hang on a second.
Were you on the ground inspecting these sites yourself, or were you told these are the nuclear sites that are a threat to them?
So your only source of knowledge is firsthand. If you don't see it,
no. What I'm saying is all we have is secondhand, and you believe the current narrative. I don't.
Wait. So we're not talking about me. I'll speak for me. You tell us about you. What do you believe?
I just told you what I said, and you wanted to.
You said you believe what I believe, but you don't know what I believe.
I said I don't believe it's a threat, and then you tried to go deeper and try to make a comparison. I'm saying, just as you tried to test the basis of my knowledge. I told you I have foresight and hindsight. We got hindsight and pattern to show, just like the WMDs and every other damn service we've been involved in, that we have enough to say, you know what? I can speculate that I might have to hold on this one. Because, there's a certain, you can use pattern recognition to say, hey, you know what, this time, I think I'm not with this one.
Yeah, Black. Were you on the ground in Iraq?
No, I wasn't. Like I said, I was not.
How did you know there weren't?
How did I know that they weren't that? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they?
On the ground?
Because the same people know. Because the same people know. Because the same authority. Because the same authority who's telling us that there was a problem.
has already, because the same authority, who gave us the idea,
One at a time.
Don't you?
You're saying Georgia
was
is
the one that have come out recently and said that there weren't, and they made a mistake. So what are we talking about?
Why do you believe them this time? You don't believe them, right? Why do you believe them this time?
All you gotta do is wag a fucking tail and you're gonna chase it like a fucking dog. All you gotta do is wag a dog and you just so fucking dumb. Because it's our side. No, this is the truth about it. This was fighting out with your own because it's our
one at a time. Don't yell over each other. One at a time.
We can't be critical, but because it's our guy.
Hang on for a second. Were you finished, Hanson?
I'm just asking.
Let me finish.
All right.
One at a time, guys.
Yeah.
Blake, I'll bring you up when Hanson is done. Just don't
I'm
talk
just
over
simply asking him a question. He said he will only believe his own eyes. I'm just asking him if he had checked the Iraqi ground with his own eyes. That's the question. Second question is, if he hadn't believed the government, what government said, why is he believing in government, what government has said this time? That's
okay. Two questions.
Okay,
have you seen hang on, two questions, Blake. Have you seen it with your eyes?
I never
don't believe the government. Hang on.
This question is invalid because you're asking this question.
To the questions. There's two questions. If you haven't seen it with your own eyes, how do you know? And if you didn't believe the government before, why do you believe them now? Go ahead.
The same way that you haven't seen it with your two eyes. So
we're not talking about me.
We're talking about, that's what I was talking about. So that's what I'm going to talk about. That was
talking about me. You want to talk
I'm talking about the opposing opinions. It's called the opposing opinions. The opposing opinions is people who are for the war and people who aren't for the war. The people who are for the war are not speculative this time around. The people who are for the war who actually support Donald Trump are now speculative of Donald Trump and the motives of this war. So that's all there is. All there is to it. You can't pin me. I'm not no loony land, no fucking crazy rap. You're not going to be Blake Jackson. You're not going to be able to. I'm saying you don't have facts. That's my point.
In other words,
you don't have the facts.
Wait.
And you don't have the facts. We're not talking about me. We're talking about the people who support this.
So you're not talking about
you. Don't have the facts.
Hey, Blake.
Norm, I'm going to drop you if you don't let people finish their thought.
I'm responding to something somebody else said in this room to say something about the current war and to say something about the previous administration. His question and critique was that people would not complain about it when Obama was freaking having the gas prices up. And I'm saying that's a retarded argument because we can just circle that all day long. It's test it now. If this was retarded Biden war, our side would be hypercritical and would not be for this war. We have an example to prove it: the war in Ukraine. So most of us weren't for that war.
No facts at all.
You got facts?
Yeah.
You got facts? You're on the ground?
Yeah.
No, you have stated. You have what you believe you've been told.
Okay, so if I ask
been told about our government.
Do you want my facts or your facts? Which facts? You have
I have the same thing you've been told, and I'm choosing not to believe.
You don't know what
choosing not to believe is different than just believing just because you was told. You were just told things.
To believe is different than believing. Is what you're saying?
No. Totally different things. Totally two different things, bro. And the end result is the same.
What's the end result?
The end result is us on the ground, people like you and me, we don't know the truth. We think we do, we don't.
Okay. Do you know the truth about anything? Or nothing? Is there a war going on? Maybe there's no war. Maybe there was never a war.
Who knows, Norm? I ain't gonna go as far as try to say that. What I'm saying is, this war ain't what it's about. Having a threat, the way we're being told that it is, isn't. And if you say that it is, you have just as much. And if you say that the threat, if you say that the threat, the reason we're at war with Iran is because of some threat. They were preemptively, first one was preemptively going in to stop them for something they might do. Then it turned into we're actually trying to assist and help the people on being persecuted by the government. Then it shifted to some other shit. Then it became about the Strait of Hormuz, the strait that they closed after we attacked them as a defense for our attack. Because these people,
I thought you didn't believe any of that. Wait, I thought you didn't believe any of that. Like, which part do you believe and which part do you not believe?
Dude, you can try to cold and hot me all you want, bro.
Bro. Have you ever been to the Strait of Hormuz?
What is that got to do with anything?
Well, because
have you ever been a quick trip? Have you ever been a quick trip in Minnesota and know anything about gas stations?
Yeah, well,
have you ever fucking hit a home run in your own life to know anything about baseball? Like, dude,
yes, I have.
With this retarded logic.
Yes. Well, you said that wasn't
literally. No, you weren't there to inspect. You're not there without any security clearances to be able to get the nitty-gritty on what's happening.
That's right. So maybe there's no war going on. They're just telling us that. Like, what do you think?
I never said that. You did. You said that.
What do you think about that idea? Maybe there's no such thing as the Strait of Hormuz. I haven't been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
So how do you know there's a Strait of Hormuz? You've never been there. Do you believe that the Artemis 2 just orbited the moon, Blake?
Blake is a flat earther. He has never seen the globe.
No?
With his own eyes.
The Earth is round, buddy.
How do you know? Have you seen the globe yourself?
Have you been to the Earth?
This argument is flat, bro. It's already dead.
Yeah, flat. Exactly.
Going down this
flat.
No, your argument is flat. Your argument is flat. I'm not see how you can jump so far to say because I'm on a different opposing side now on this very issue. Just a year ago, you and I would be buddies and hanging out barbecuing with our opinions together because we both agree.
You haven't answered my question.
But your question is fucking retarded. You're asking me, do I want your see? No, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, dude, I did not say that. That is not where I came from. What I am opposing is the negative in that. You and I both know just about the same thing. Okay. Most of us who are on different opposing sides about this war are just voicing our opinions based on what we think we know and what we have experienced and the experience of the.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking your question. You haven't answered my question. You were the one saying that all you can believe is what you can see with your own eyes. Right?
I just clarified
with that logic.
I never said that. I never said that. You are painting that logic. I'm gonna go repeat it to you one more time. And I just said it, but you're not gonna take it because that's not how you want to get your nut off right now. Your nut off. You're gonna have to try this tactic with the crazy leftists, sir.
Well,
I am a conservative.
I have voted for Donald Trump. We were talking about
3 times. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. You're not going to win with this logic. You can't have a straight conversation with me. You are too busy trying to test my logic, you motherfucker, instead of having conversations.
That's what you said.
You're not. Look, I am not a fucking defendant on the stand. I am voicing my opinion just as you.
In what year did you vote for Donald Trump 3 times?
One more time.
Yes.
You know just as much as I do.
Right. And what
so
year
at the end of it all,
Trump 3 times?
2016, 2020, and he just won.
Okay.
That's 3 times you get to vote for. That's 3 times you can vote for.
2016, 2020, and what?
Current presidency.
What year was that? What year did you vote for him the third time?
You know, we're about 2 years into his term. When did he get elected, Norm? We're about 2 years.
Why are you asking me? You said you voted for him 3 times. I asked you when.
So how the fuck did I not vote for him 3 times if he ran 3 times? What the fuck are you asking?
I said, what are the years that you voted for him 3 times?
Why is?
If you don't know, just say I don't know.
Do you see how retarded this question is?
No. What's the answer?
I'm not giving you the answer. You can check. You can do the deduction yourself.
Is it a secret?
No, it's called. What? You're being fucking stupid. We are currently in his current administration. He has been in office for almost 2 years. Okay. He has done half of his term. So you answer the question, you dummy.
Okay. So you want me to answer the question when you voted? But I didn't see you vote.
I'm choosing not to answer that. I'm clapping back by telling you he's 2 years into his current administration. Can you deduct from there when I voted for him?
I don't think you would ever voted for him.
When did
I think that's speculative. I don't think you voted for Donald Trump.
Bro, you don't think because I don't. What?
Yeah, because I didn't see you vote for him.
Now?
What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But I got a track record in this. I got a track record that you can use to deduct my position and see that I'm not lying. You'll be able to use pattern recognition. But anybody who knows me,
Please mute up. This is a quick Clubhouse public service announcement. Clubhouse for years has been allowing speakers to come here and not get paid for their content. But now we have the gold coin opportunity of a lifetime. And if you haven't purchased gold coins yet, go ahead and just buy $5 right now. Test out the new features, see what it's like, and send me 1 gold coin, 2 gold coin, 10 gold coin, make it 10, not 11, 10, not 9. If you're enjoying this content in the Trump America house, because these are some very intelligent speakers that have facts, not opinions. And obviously nobody wants to listen to people's opinions. We want the facts. And Clubhouse has given us this gold coin opportunity to send me 10 coins right now. Go ahead. Who's going to be the first? Who in the audience here will send me 10 gold coins that I'll never cash out? Because they already deleted my other cash out account that I set up on Stripe because this app is so progressive. But here in this limited opportunity, we can give you the facts, ladies and gentlemen, not the opinions in this crucial moment in American history, in Iranian history, in Israeli history. This is your gold coin opportunity to have fun. That's the experience we want you to achieve. So right now, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not having fun right now and you want me to shut up, put a 2 in the chat. Okay, everybody, continue the conversation. I am complete. This has been your public service announcement from Clubhouse. Got your tongue now, huh? Well, I see there's a lot of 2s in the chat for me to shut up. Well, that's not a surprise, is it? Well, this has been a huge... Look how many people are in the audience. You are what's making this conversation possible. The listener. And you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, or as they like to say, mouth. And so we have been discussing the truth of the earth from your birth until your death. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to be on Clubhouse, to experience this happening through your cell phone? Is it fun? Are you not entertained?
through to you and maybe some other people is that there's this thing called philosophy. It's more of like a thing about life, philosophy of life. Meaning that if you think your opinions are facts, and I ask you, is it your opinion that many people confuse facts and opinions, and you say no? Well, then you clearly don't understand that no one has any facts. It's always tentative. It's always changing. It's always dynamic. It's this thing called life. There's no guarantees. But the only guarantee on Clubhouse is that people are going to complain. And the truth is, there's no personal development. There's no real intelligence being exchanged. People aren't even loving one another. They're just fighting one another. So if anybody has any poetry, or they want to play some music and get away from all that politic, well, that's up to you. You have that choice to try to create something new in your own life at this very moment. Hello? T.A. Alex. Trump has no soul. Is that an opinion or is that a fact? Which one is it?
You know I can't speak for that. I mean, how dare you? But you listen, the individual has no moral compass, and I'm just saying that. And so, I mean, well, you take that for whatever you want.
Look at him and his superior moral compass. His morality is so superior. He's able to judge the president as being immoral.
Hey, listen, did you hear about the Pope? Did you hear what the Pope did? I'm just saying morality. I'm a Catholic, so I'm gonna just tell you, we follow the faith. Spiritual leaders usually don't get involved in such small minor matters as war on the front pages anyway. Most of the time for it, it's a country too. He has to write for it. It has an economy. It's ill affected as well. It has a state. So therefore, but at the same time, for the leader of 1/5 of the world's population in regard to the faith, said that Pope, what he said that this was an unjust war. He said that this was wrong. He said you can't invoke the name of God. But you use it.
What the Pope says? Fuck that guy.
Of course, because
I'm not Catholic. I'm Protestant. I'm Protestant because we do not care about you. Your Pope has no power, bro. Your popery is shit. We reject your popery and all your shit. So we don't care.
You're not Christian.
Well, you should worry about the sex crimes. You should worry about the sexual abuse.
Martin Scorsese film. Come on, Mom.
Yeah.
This ain't a Martin Scorsese film.
Well, really though, honestly, he should worry about the abuses that happen in his church before he starts talking shit.
Morality of papery. Who led the many crusades against the Muslims? Why don't you ask the question? Where's the crusade?
Nobody's knocking the Vatican, but I did see something interesting actually, that the Italian government actually invaded the Vatican and ended their fascist state in I don't know what year it was. Anyways, it's a long and complicated global history. We're just trying to have fun here, and we're only trying to listen to facts, no opinions. So whenever I hear an opinion, I'm gonna hit my opinion wooden drum here, and you'll know that my opinion is that your opinion is an opinion and not a fact. You understand how that game works now? Those are the new rules.
The Jews are running the world. The Jews.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion. Okay, who's going to voice the next opinion?
What about the crusade? Is that an opinion or facts?
It's a historical Catholic. There will be no wooden dinging there.
Yeah, the Catholic perpetrated the Crusades and the Inquisitions, from number 1 and 2, and the death, I guess you could call it genocide in Africa in regard to disallowing individuals for the use of condoms. The Catholic Church did that. You got it.
Fantastic. That's a moral high ground.
Wow, the Catholic Church has done some pretty bad things throughout history. That's shocking news to hear. I didn't know that fact.
What church hasn't?
But now you're
But
just
ridiculous pretty big, right? And they make a very bold claim about their authority, don't they?
Saying the religious situation for you really can't. That has really no bearing in regard to it.
But why are you standing on the moral high ground? That doesn't exist.
Standing on the moral high ground because I support the idea that the leader of 1/5 of the world's population decided to say how bad Trump was. Standing on the high ground is just
How is that high ground when you had all the genocides?
Alex, before he became the Pope, he was the son of a firefighter, and he covered up sexual abuse crimes in the Catholic Church. So I just don't understand why you think this Chicago Pope is holier than Jesus Christ or something. The guy covered up sex crimes. Hello? Why do you think he got the top job? He was the greatest cover-upper, for the pedophile.
I'm sure you recognize the fact that the church is in the process of major settlement in regard to that. And listen, the works of men are
billions and billions and billions and billions. And they got to sell churches and parking lots to build skyscrapers to pay off all that debt from all the fucking sex crimes they did with all those young boys and all those young girls that they were raping and molesting for decades and decades and decades, and then shuffling them around and moving them over there so they can do crimes over there, and then bringing them to the Vatican so they can hide out. Oh my God, it's like a criminal sex network. Hello?
You mean like the Epstein's? Like Epstein's situation? You mean
like a cardinal? Who's calling up sex crimes? They got billions of dollars in settlements. The Catholics. They got the Vatican. They got their own state. They got their own religious fascist dictatorship in the Vatican. It's so beautiful, though. Have you been to Italy? It's so beautiful and so the marble, so luxurious. Oh, they live in such luxury. Pedophiles. Ooh, I love it right now. It's shimmery. Beautiful. Do you have sequins under there? Oh, who's your newest boyfriend? Oh, you're going to San Francisco next weekend? Let's go shopping.
We just finished Lent, right?
Did you make any money? Did you buy any new clothes for the priest?
That's not.
Have you sacrificed the child to the altar of Puppery? The incense. Somebody like the incense. It's speaking Latin to me. It gets me aroused. Does anybody here speak Latin? Does anybody have any fragrant? It was Lent. Do you want to explain to us what Lent means?
Yes, of course I will. We celebrate the season of Lent. It's a time of sacrifice. You have to give something up. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of.
To my sexual, pederasty here at the Catholic Church. Anybody have any children? I went to Catholic Pope school. I'm qualified to teach the teachings of Jesus Christ and play with your children. Is that what the Catholic Church is all about? Is that where they got to pay all the billions of dollars? Billions and billions. It's sexual abuse, lawsuits, personal injury, sexual abuse lawsuits in the Catholic Church with the gay popes, the gay Catholic cardinals, the gay bishops, the gay deacons, the LGBTQs everywhere these days, right out in the open.
Hey, Danya. Okay, well, listen. No one could defend the history of it.
Let me get my opinion, though. When I hear an opinion, I'm going to hit it like that. Go ahead.
Knock yourself. I appreciate it. Listen, no one can deny the evils that have been perpetrated by men in many different faiths against people. And that is one of the things that, we kind of would hope that people would move towards becoming better. The church evolves like anything else. But remember, too, that these are the institutions that help to build universities and hospitals. The concepts in regard to science and the advancement of civilization.
Medicare for trillions of dollars over 20 years.
Yeah, you know what?
Scams and sexual abuse never ends.
What's up?
Wait, let me get my opinion. We heard an
don't mind. All right. So listen, the problem that we have in this situation, Ford, I think is people don't really appreciate the history, not only of mankind, but just of what role religion played in it. You know, here there's evil people. There are evil people that do evil things all the time, whether it be presidents or popes or individuals. It's all about the power. You know, well, I mean, we all admit that. We all come to the understanding in regard to it. But the thing is to try to find the positive. You know what?
I think I just heard an opinion.
Okay, well, all right, you can say that. And that probably is. But by the historical basis, as I said, the institution serves for a greater purpose, for a community, for several millions of people. And that kind of works in regard to like times of strife. That helps them to get through situations. It is something that they may lean upon. So, all right, that's all good. Maybe a common thought. Maybe the golden rule: be kind to people, be merciful, be good. Those are the teachings of the idea of the church. It's not so separate the religion from the aspect of what we believe is the faith. And with that too, you know, I think it doesn't take a rocket science to recognize evil when they see it. It doesn't take you like tons of information in regard to recognizing what's happening in your world and to use common sense.
I think we've directed another opinion.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, all right. Well, rocket science, is that what? It's with that. You know, I oftentimes find myself I'm mystified by people that don't look at the whole picture in regard to the current administration. I'm mystified in regard to that people that don't do the research.
And a simple projection.
I'm mystified. It could go to a opinion. All right, it's me. So I said I from the beginning. So I'll wear that. Just to the facts. Just to the facts.
The fact that got an opinion coming out about some facts.
The Pope said that war can't be waged in the name of God. Period. That's right. I land with that. It's a fact.
Since you're
mystifying to others.
Well, since you landed on an opinion, I just want to also land on another opinion. This man here is essentially promoting bullshit, ladies and gentlemen, because he's trying to present to you the opposite of the truth, which is his opinion. I rest my objection.
And TA, you're appealing to authority. It's a false authority you're appealing.
I'm actually going to play for you a little harp here, because basically this is all you just did, Alex, with all your bullshit. Listen. Let me ask you this, Alex. Can you tell us what God's
laws? What do you mean? Like the Ten Commandments?
Let me repeat it for you slowly and clearly.
Ooh, please.
Give me your definition of.
I don't think that God actually made a law, did he? I mean, we don't have anywhere. Catholics rewrote the Bible, so I can pretty much tell you, I mean, the New Testament anyway. I can't tell you something that would be like the opinion. I can get a fact of that. Catholics wrote the Bible. And as everybody knows, the King James Bible is the best Bible of all. It's King James before Hal published it. Wow, that guy can publish like nobody published. The KJV around the world is widely accepted as the greatest, the best, the most glorious of all Bibles ever printed, published, and mass distributed. Thank you, KJV, for that glorious historical book legacy. Wow. You know, the Guggenheim, which is the first, like, it's written, didn't come out until 800, right? What do you think Adam wrote?
It's a question. We're trying to get back to the question here, which was, what is God's laws?
Okay, let's just go to the Ten Commandments. I suppose that's the quickest reference you could use for it. And really, if you just go to the first one, love God with all your heart and soul. If you did the first one, you probably wouldn't have to ask any questions after the second, or the third, or the fourth. Love one another is our, you know what I mean?
9/11, 10/9. It's not one. It's 10. It's 10. Not one. It's 10. Don't just say, oh, you just need number one. Because really, that's just, it's all relative. Whether it's 10 or 9, but it's a total. It's 10 ones, really, right? It's not just one. It's 10 ones. Oh,
But you asked me what I thought God's law was. But
that's law. What is God's law?
well, yeah, I think God's law is to love God with all your heart and soul and love one another. That's it.
All
I
right.
think that would be the.
That's one here. That's an opinion. Go ahead.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. You asked me. In regard to the second part, the Old Testament is filled with a lot of mysticism. There's a lot of mysticism, with the
What
word
is a mystic and what is mysticism?
Well, mysticism, is a belief in something which by all scientific means is not practical. It doesn't meet any criteria in regard to being able to test it scientifically or to see what there would be a logical conclusion where it would occur. So when we look at things in the Bible and we say like, the great flood. Okay, what? What? The flood? That's not an opinion.
I asked you what is mysticism and that gave me your opinion. I hit that.
Let me refrain from giving you an analogy for it. All right, my opinion. All right, I'm just saying. I was trying to give it like an example, but that's what would be considered mysticism. It's just something which is not. It's unbelievable. Put it like that. The simplest word. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, can you give me an example of something that's unbelievable?
Yeah, that's why I said like the Great Flood. Noah collected 2 animals of each.
Great flood.
Yeah. Noah, you never read about the Great Flood?
Alex, what do you think the biggest difference is between Moses and Noah?
Moses freed the people, took his people out. Noah, he saved his family. So biggest difference.
One deals with family and one deals with nature.
Yes.
A microcosm and a macrocosm.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. The Bible does provide us with examples throughout. Yeah, that's fine. It's a great book, huh?
Did Noah commit incest or rape in his life?
I'm sure there's stories. But you know what? I won't discount the fact in regard to human behavior and what could possibly occur, particularly in regard to culture or in regard to time periods. There's a lot of freaky stuff.
Are you one of those talking?
I believe in evolution, but at the same time, I'm a Christian.
You believe in evolution? Do you believe in herd evolution?
To a degree. Some specifics in regard to it's the same thing that comes about with herd immunity. It's in the aspect of that grouping or the symptoms in regard to grouping. Does it work for us in all aspects for it or the lone herd? Community is always for humans.
Do you think incest can create mutations genetically?
Yes, without question.
Mutations are a requirement of evolution.
They are, but not in a negative sense. You don't try.
Let's repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. Mutation is a requirement of evolution. That's an opinion, not a fact, right? We just confirmed it's a fact, not a...
Yeah, but I would argue that for the advancement for evolution to take place for it, nature tries new things. It tries in regard to seeing whether some things can show adaptability. And some things as to whether or not it's a necessary need in regard to the Earth's overall ecological system.
Well, my only point is about when I was in high school in AP Bio, and we were told that mutation is a requirement of evolution. I said to myself, teacher, didn't you see Star Wars when the Sith Lord says only a Sith, talks in absolutes? Because that's kind of an all or nothing statement, and it's a bold claim that backs up a theory. So I'm just trying to get to the facts, not the
opinions. Well, I mean, let's use scientific method. I mean, use the idea in regard to that conservation. I think that you would see, it's like you can't really explain psychological conditions or conditions in regard to that deal with the genome without really sort of understanding first, we are just diving into them. We're just beginning to understand exactly what that has as possible effect, only within the last 30 years. So when we talk about mutation in regard to it, we know how to make new species of things, right? We know how to make new plants all the time for it. It's simple processes. And we understand too that it all deals with the genes. What if the genes are skewed? What if something happens in regard to, what if there's a chemical imbalance? We don't know what one of those factors may eventually affect an individual to incur autism or to incur mutation in regard to physical form. So that's still science which is being explored. So the fact is, we know that we are not, all these things are not just simply caused because, God said this child will be mutated, or God said that these individuals will be missing a gene or will suffer from sickle cell or from, God doesn't do that. It is the part of the evolutionary process, which testing things, trying them back and forth. Nature selects, man survives.
opinion. That sounds like somebody's knocking at that door. Just saying, Trump sucks. Well, that's just like your dude. Because for a lot of people, 60 million Americans, they are thankful that he's our president. And it's not even in comparison to Kamala Harris. It's thankful because of his decisiveness, his strength, his courage, his boldness, his patriotism, his love of country. And if you fail to see that, and again, you think this man has no soul. And I just and see, that's your lack of spiritual understanding that's speaking there. Because this is what I hear in a lot of these, even supposed psychedelic rooms. They all absolutely hate the commander-in-chief. But they're also suffering with pain in their own personal lives. And I gotta say, there's a connection there. Because they use Trump rejection for their own anger, their own hate, their own frustration, their own anxiety, their own fears. Trump is a catch-all for your personal responsibility, and that's, to me, what a Catholic does. They defer the personal responsibility onto a catch-all like Jesus, a poor Jewish guy that got murdered by the Romans. Rebbeinu Shalom. And everybody who said that it was the J words, not the R words, Jesus Christ. Don't you know anything about Christianity? So what we're trying to say is, when you come to Clubhouse to complain, and you think this is a complaint department, it's not the layaway at Walmart. We're not the return section. We don't create these rooms as, customer service agents. We come here as opinion collectors. We're actually the garbage dump, and we run the waste management system here. Kind of like Tony Soprano, and in the end, don't forget, Tony Soprano had a spiritual revelation as he was, having somebody murdered and stealing from his rub job joint. He said, fuck it. Do whatever you want. I am complete, and I land my plane. Maybe I have anger issues. Maybe. No, you know what? No, the hell with that. I guess everyone has issues. But nevertheless, there's some things which we don't project in regard to our emotions about. Common sense tells us that when something is wrong, right? You're doing your daily life. So you hit the nail on the head there when you said, you know what? I got anger issues. Because honestly, that's what everybody's dealing with. if you come into a room that somebody else created and they're playing a game with you and you're getting angry that, you know, you're being treated unfairly, you came into the room and you stayed in the room. That's a sadomasochistic, you know, type of mentality where you actually want to abuse yourself. All I'm trying to say is, if you find yourself in a car and you road rage and you drive your car like a fucking asshole and you just rev that engine and you jam those brakes and you honk that horn and you get up on somebody's fucking bumper and you say, motherfucker, if that's how you drive, if that's how you roll, that's a huge problem. You're stupid. Because your car won't last. Why destroy the vehicle? And why get angry because other people drive like fucking idiots, dummies? Like, they're driving their car like they're suicidal. You see what I'm saying? It's self-harm. So this is actually an enlightenment, symposium, an enlightenment education room to use Trump as the vehicle of your salvation, of your liberation, of your enlightenment. Trump can do that for you, but you gotta let go of because you're not up there at the top of the hierarchy. You're at the bottom. You're in the sewer. You're in the gutter of Clubhouse. This is where dreams and opinions come to, it's all just being stored in Salt Lake City at all these data centers they're building. And, nobody at the FBI is going to waste their afternoon listening to your conversation about but the government will keep buying those with all your taxpayer dollars and even borrow to store you see what I'm saying? Alex, you haven't figured out the game. This is your moment of coming to Jesus and saying, man, I got an anger management issue I'm still dealing with. And before I even deal with that, maybe I should just save so I can fix my anger. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
No, I think I feel you. I think I understand for it. It's just things trigger me so easily. Like Epstein files, they trigger me. And I don't know why. I shouldn't let them trigger me. That's my own issues. You know what I'm saying? And it's things like emolument clause violations. You know what I mean? He gets a plane and all this stuff. And I'm jealous. I think it must be it. I must be jealous.
When I say the three-fifth compromise, does that make you angry?
No, that doesn't incite me like those other things do.
I'm just being facetious, meaning that we could come up with a list of 100 of your top things that would annoy you, and we could talk about it. But again, that's all just word hypnosis, brother. And Trump does that game, and you fall for it. Everybody falls for that, but that's the boy who cried wolf. You know why the boy who cried wolf works so good? Because every time a boy cries wolf, it's like the first time he ever did it. There's no such thing as boy cried wolf. It's the opposite. Every new communication is a new hypnosis. It reframes all previous communication. And that's why there's no ceasefire, dummy. War is perpetual. War is a lifetime. War is eternal. And if you don't understand what that means, that's because you never read it in a book like I have.
Let me ask you, why are they playing with my emotions like this? Why? What is it? Isn't that evil? Isn't it evil to say that all these things are happening?
The theory of personal responsibility is that you're actually doing all this. Now, that's solipsistic, but the truth is, in Donald Trump's perspective, he is doing all this, and he actually is doing all this. That's the difference between you and Trump, T.A. Alex. Trump is actually doing this, and you're just observing the actual doing, and you got friction because you ain't actually doing it.
Hi guys, can I have a little objective on the vote?
Let Alex respond. Alex, go ahead. You got 30 seconds, and then we're going to pass the mic to Dr. Basel.
No, I'm just saying, maybe you're right. Maybe all these things, I should take personal responsibility. Maybe I do want, the things. I want the billions of dollars that his family's getting right now for it. And I'm jealous. And I want the world to hate me in regard to. I want the whole world to just think that and allies to just run in different directions in regard to when I ask for help. And that's what I want. You're right. So I'm
You live in envy. You actually feel envy because sometimes there are times when I see friends or people I know and I see their Instagram and what they're doing with their lives, and I'm a little envious. And I'm maybe a little jealous, but at the same time, I know I got a good book that they ain't got. And they're just eating their way. They're just fatties. They're living I'm not saying it's not an amazing lifestyle, but they just a bunch of fatties eating all the time, posting on Instagram. That's so boring. Even though they're worth $100 million, living on a private island with their own goddamn coffee plantation. They got fresh coffee in their plantation, T.A. Alex. That's how rich these people are. They got $300 million yachts that cost $40 a year just to operate. You got to have $50 million a year just in operating expenses to operate your yacht. Alex, you are envious of the little things in life. We are moving the mic to Basel. Go ahead.
Sorry, guy, because I've interrupted you, but I have a little objective on the vote. I've already said that. I'm not a U.S. citizen, just as a start, but I'm seeing that the conversations in Clubhouse or in any part of the social media, whether Trump is good or right, or whether the war is going to a better, let's say, fate, or is he just colliding with the whole U.S. economy and the global economy. But there's a question that nobody is even asking at this point. Is this even moral, the bombing of school children or the bombing of civilians, or even the invasion of Iran and Iraq like 20 years before? I'm not saying is it advantageous for the U.S. or not, but even if it is advantageous for the U.S. as a government and as a citizen, which I really doubt, is it moral?
Is it moral?
Moral, well, we could define the words, then we could look at the perspective. Right, whether you're on this side or that side, everyone can and will justify their claims. And then we have to have a compromise about the words, and then there could be another escalation of violence that breaks out randomly. There could be secret intelligence operatives planning to do all kinds of chaos. And in war, World War II taught us a very bad lesson about all or nothing victories. That before Germany fell, there's like the Reichstag or something like that. I read an article about some battle. The position changed 15 times or 20 times, meaning that 1,000 people died here, 1,000 people died there, 3,000 died, then another 5,000 died, then another 3,000 died, all to take the position back and forth, back and forth. It's so crazy. So, Basel, it's a funeral procession, and you are observing funeral rites. This is a ceremony and a ritual, a human sacrifice on the altar of observation. So when you ask, is it moral? The question is, what are you looking at? How are you spending your seconds? Because you got 2.5 billion seconds to spend, Basel. What are you going to spend it on with your observation, with your conscious attention? How much are you going to get paid per second for your words? Because when you die, many people don't know this. You go before, God in heaven, and God looks at the accounting, does an audit, does some actuarial science, and says, this is how much you earned per second, and these are how many words you used. So it turns out, Basel, that the people who earn the most are actually the biggest talkers, like Donald Trump, or Sundar Pichai, or Tim Cook, or Steve Jobs, who turned into a fruitcake and disappeared and left his wife a $300 billion
you could be the Walton family, and now you can't find qualified workers to fill your warehouse distribution wholesaling business, Basil. So I hope that answers your question. You have 30 seconds to respond. Welcome to the game.
I'm not very good at debate, and English is my second language. But I think that some, let's say, definitions or terms have been put on a spectrum. Like when I ask someone, is this moral or not? He responds like, you can say it's moral and you can say it's not. And I can, in the other way, respond in reverse. But I think that, like, bombing of civilian, or even the example that you added, World War II. World War II, nobody, at least I know nobody, that claims that the attacker, in this case, of course, the Nazi Germany, is. But I mean, to Poland, to France, nobody had ever mentioned, or at least I didn't found somebody that mentions that there is a justification for the action of Hitler, because I think there's not. And what
Basil, is it your opinion? Is it your opinion, Basil, that there is a definitive World War I and a definitive World War II? And what does 1 + 2 equal?
I didn't get your question. Of course, there's a definitive war.
There's a definitive war, but isn't that just an escalation and a de-escalation, or if you know mathematics, a crest and a trough, a crest and a trough, a crest. So to say this was the World War I crest and trough period, this is the World War II crest and trough period, and this is the World War III crest and trough period. This is human history. This is the history of violence. Hello?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But hear me out. It is our duty as human beings to, let's say, alleviate this crest and trough and prevent of the reach, or the reach to this crest and war, because